lifelong mission. Even if you had my contact, you still couldn't see what I envisioned. My eyes so focused on the mission. Only loud God with me, cause the eyes go against me. Only trust in God, so the evil is against me. Just thanks for putting a smile in the face of me, let me free.
Yo, what's happening everyone? What's up with you? This your boy Ezekiel. Now I'd like to welcome all y'all to Support You YouTube channel. If you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. A little bit about this channel. I'm just going to be sharing tips and exercises to help people to overcome their trauma. Like I said before in the previous video, you know, I'm Ezekiel, and I just bring awareness to social media addiction and the trauma that it causes people to have and the mental challenges it causes people to have, you know, with my artwork. This is some of my artwork behind me, you know what I'm saying? And one thing I want to say before I get started on this month's topic, a lot of you might know me from my interview that I did with the good brother DeMonte Pope. So if you haven't, go on YouTube, check that out. King Speaks Podcast. His name is DeMonte Pope. I met him at the Invest Fest. I just had a piece of my artwork with me, and I just ran up to him. You know, I was just getting out my artwork, networking. You know, I had a print of this particular painting right here that I had did, and it's basically, you know, talking about the trauma of social media addiction and what it caused. You know, like if you look right here, we have all the like buttons in the gun clip, and then like that's like the DM, Instagram, TikTok, you know, the battery charge on the front of the barrel, the AK right there, the Draco, and it's like gang, so that's what it's all representing right now. You know, a lot of trauma got, you know, these kids just living crazy out here with no guidance. So I'm just trying to use my experiences to help people, you know, understand like what's going on out here and just bring awareness. But yeah, this month's topic, I want to touch on trauma. And you know, I feel like trauma is a very important subject that we need to discuss in the black community, because a lot of us it's been traumatized so much that it's become normal. Like traumatized from everything around us, our environments, our living conditions, you know, our household, no guidance, no father there, some people not having no mother there. So like all that plays a huge part on us, and you know the trauma that it caused. What is trauma? Trauma is like it's a disturbing experience. So a little about me and some of the trauma I experienced was disturbing as a young age. You know, I grew up in the projects in Reservoir, you know, in Rome, Georgia. I don't know if a lot of y'all familiar, but if you are, you probably know about Reservoir in the 90s, and it was just wild. So, you know, I was young and I got introduced to a whole lot of traumatizing experiences at a young age. You know, I witnessed someone commit suicide in front of me at the age of 6. You know, a whole bunch of traumatizing stuff. Seeing people get pistol whipped between cars and polices, you know, sicking dogs on people. It was just a whole lot to take in at a young age. And, you know, and that played a major factor, you know, on my habits and patterns I picked up growing up to deal with the trauma that I, you know, went through as a kid. And, you know, a lot of things, you know, trauma can affect is friendships. You could build friendships off of trauma. You know, just because of how you and this person relate don't mean y'all necessarily have to relate in real life. You know, but sometimes the trauma cause us to like be in friendships and be loyal past the point that we supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Just because we share a common trauma, you know, even relationships. You know, you can get in relationships with people because y'all have similar trauma, you know what I'm saying, experiences. You know what I'm saying? Y'all both might have came up you know, she didn't have no father, you didn't have no father, or whatever the case may be. And y'all, get in a relationship, then sex get involved, then it get deeper. Y'all made a trauma bond relationship with not even knowing it. You know what I'm saying? Even down to how you spend your money. You know what I'm saying? And I learned that as I got older because I realized at one point I was spending all my money on nothing but clothes and shoes. And one day I just looked at my closet and I'm like, man, dang, this all I got. This all, if something happened to me right now, this all I'ma leave. I don't have no kids, but this all I'ma leave my mom and my brother. To remember me by is a lot of clothes and shoes. And when I had to think deeper, and I was like, the reason why I spent so much money on clothes and shoes is because of the trauma. I grew up not having a lot. When my grandma, she did the best she could. My mom, they did the best they could. And it was some days, and sometimes where I would get hand-me-downs from my cousin that was like a little better off than me. Or, my grandma, she was like well connected with like people in the church at these white churches. So she was going to get like, good condition hand-me-down, like Tommy Hilfiger and stuff. And we'll just make it work. So as I got older, I was like, you know what? I ain't going out like that no more. You know what I'm saying? So every penny that I was getting, I was just buying clothes and shoes. If I feel sad, if I feel depressed, or anything that didn't feel like the normal, I would go buy shoes or clothes to make that feeling to go away, to try to make myself feel better. Another thing that I want to identify is trauma even affected how my work ethic is on my jobs. I noticed that stem from trauma. I go to these jobs and I, catch on so fast and I, try to outwork everyone. You know what I'm saying? And end up being more knowledgeable than some of the managers. The way I pick up on stuff and take in all these different skills and different positions. And well, on every job I've been on, my work ethic has been impeccable. Like, I just always, but that stems for trauma. The trauma of me, trying out for sports when I was younger. And I'm not too athletic. I was always real slim. So, my weight played a big part on, certain positions in sports I wanted to play. So all that, when I got on jobs, I was just like, you know what? Hey, you ain't gonna outperform me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't gonna outperform me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go 110%. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna like be focused in. I'm gonna be tapped in. I'm gonna try to figure out different little ways. I'm gonna make my own little, way to do stuff and how to, make this position, real suitable for me. So like, hey, you ain't gonna win. You know what I'm saying? That was the mentality that I had and I have to this day, and I'm like working on managing that habit a little better because one thing I noticed, I'm outperforming on jobs, but when it's time for me to perform for myself, I ain't performing like I should. I ain't focusing on my goals like I should because all my energy is gone. Because I've been going so hard on these jobs, giving so much hours and so much of my time that when it's time for me to go hard and outperform, myself, because that's the only competition you have in life is yourself. I'm trying to outperform myself and I can't even do it because all my energy is drained. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing and I'm trying to manage and work on since I identified, why I perform like that. Now I'm trying to channel that energy and spend more time, focusing on my goals and, positions that I could put myself in to leave a nice legacy for my brother, my mom, or if I have kids, for my kids, or, whatever. So, yeah. And one of the most important things I want to share is having a relationship with yourself. I said that in the podcast with the Mon Pope, but I want to say that again because I feel like that's the most important relationship to have in life. Like, it's to have a relationship with yourself. Because a lot of us get in relationships with other individuals, but you don't even have a relationship with yourself. So sometimes when things go wrong, it's not necessarily that person. It's something that you didn't manage along your way before you met this person. So you throwing that off on them. Can't no one fix you but you. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever you going through, you got to figure out how to manage it, how to control it. You know what I'm saying? And just realize, if it is it trauma related. You know what I'm saying? If it is, just tune into my channel. I'm gonna be sharing exercises and tips, to help you out. So like if it's anything like that, I'm gonna be giving exercises that my therapist done shared with me over the last 2 years that helped me identify a lot of my trauma and brought me a long way from, a lot of my trauma bond, stuff I had going on from relationships to how I was spending money, like everything. You know what I'm saying? So like this video, like I say, it's just about trauma. You know what I'm saying? I'm just sharing a few experiences, my experiences with you that I had with trauma. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, if you have, like, any other, experiences or things you might need me to talk about, trauma related, just drop a comment or just shoot me a DM on Instagram. My Instagram is Authentic Culture, ARTHENTYK_culture. Just shoot me a DM on Instagram or something. And just hit me up, and I can try to, give you some exercises or some tools or whatever, because I feel like, the whole world profit off the trauma of us, off of the black people or the African American, the indigenous people, the Hebrew Israelites, the Jews, the black Jews, or whatever you want to put yourself up under. The whole world profit off of our trauma. And they sell it back to us. You get what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They profit off of the trauma they put us through and they sell it back to us. They profit off the trauma they put in the music and they got the kids out here running around, they selling it back to us. You know what I'm saying? That's been why, a lot of stuff, if it's like conscious or if it's like logical, we look at it as lame or we look at it as corny because it's not trauma related or because trauma's not attached to it. Because we've been so conditioned to just be comfortable, with trauma. You know what I'm saying? That it's become normal to us. So, I'm just trying to help y'all realize, trauma is not normal. You know what I'm saying? Ain't shit normal about being traumatized. Excuse my French, my language, my English, or whatever you want to call it. But ain't nothing cool, ain't nothing, great about being traumatized or being in no traumatized experience. Like, people really need to, really, get an understanding that causes a lot of mental illness, trauma. You get what I'm saying? A whole lot of mental illness, from mental challenges. I ain't gonna say illness because it's not really an illness. It's just, you having challenges mentally that you can't really, overcome. So I'm gonna say mental challenges. So like that causes a lot. Then social media these days just make it worse. You know what I'm saying? That has a huge factor on the trauma because you can log in every day and repeatedly see trauma over and over again. You can repeatedly see videos of like George Floyd. You can repeatedly hear the calls of Trayvon Martin. Like, that's trauma. You know what I'm saying? Social media has just made it, even, intensify the trauma. So like, I'm just trying to bring people to be aware, of the trauma, and, and the conditions that social media play on the trauma. I have to turn my phone off, at night because the notifications and stuff from like Gmail and Instagram and all these different platforms give me anxiety in the middle of the night. And that relate back to the trauma of my grandma passing. You know what I'm saying? 2 years ago, I get the call in the middle of the night. So now anytime that I'm asleep or something and my notifications going off, I'm automatically getting anxiety just because of that one moment. So now I have to turn my notifications off. So it's just about being aware and managing whatever you're going through. So like this is the first video of the month. You know, I got a few more videos coming. You know, I know October, you know, I kind of like ran behind, but I had like a lot of personal stuff going on. But, you know, like I say, I'm trying to manage it and do better. You know, that's all we can do in life. But yeah, I'm Ezekiel. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for tuning in to the Support You YouTube channel. Like I say, like, comment, and subscribe. So I just hope this video was very helpful. And again, I'd like to thank y'all for tuning in. Look forward to hearing from y'all soon.